Hi everyone. So if you ever tried joining a roleplay server but don't know what to do, I'm going to explain all the steps you need to do to prepare to join a roleplay server. Before we go into the dealership, the first thing that you need to know is that you need to be 13 plus to join the roleplay server because you need to download Discord in order to do this. So that's the first thing you need to know. The second thing is, if we go into the dealership, you can see some of these cars here on this list. These are the sports cars. So any cars you see here, you pretty much can't drive in the roleplay server, and that's why you really don't want to drive a supercar or buy a supercar when you're about to join a roleplay server or thinking about joining a roleplay server. And that's because these cars you normally wouldn't see in Greenville. You don't want to buy a supercar. That's the first thing that you don't want to do. And so I noticed that some people have all this money saved up and they go look for a supercar, and then after that they realize they want to join a roleplay server, but they're stuck with a super expensive car. So that's the first thing that you don't want to do because that's a big mistake that you could make. Another thing you want to do is also check the banned vehicles list. If you're caught driving a banned car in Greenville, you could get pulled over, so you don't want to earn like a mark or anything. Make sure you check the banned vehicles list. If you're driving any sort of more regular car, for example, a Subaru, Honda, Volkswagen, those normally aren't banned because those are more regular cars. But if you're seen driving a Lamborghini, there's a high chance you could get pulled over unless you are a booster and they have certain rules where you can drive banned cars that other regular non-boosters can't. Another thing that you want to do before joining a roleplay server, if you haven't already, practice driving and using your blinkers, headlights, and everything like that. You can try practicing in a private server, since in public server it's going to be a little hard, but maybe try going away from like the Cenex area. Drive somewhere else, maybe where there is signal lights, for example, the airport. No one really goes near these roads in a public server, so try driving near the airport in this area, and there shouldn't really be any bad drivers back here. Another thing you need to know before joining a roleplay server is know if you have access to a mobile device or a computer, because most roleplay servers require you to have computers and you can't play if you're on a mobile device in some servers. So know if you're going to be on mobile or you have access to a computer. You also need to be able to join voice chats. So that's another reason why they need you to be able to join from a computer and not mobile device. Unless you have access to both and play on mobile, then that would work too. Another thing you could do to practice driving or learning to drive, and if you are joining multiple servers or you're very confused about the rules, one thing to do is go 55 miles per hour on the main road, drive under the speed limit, maybe like 5 miles per hour below the speed limit. If you do not know the rules, or some rules aren't updated, or something went wrong in the server, drive 5 miles per hour below the speed limit. So if you're on back roads, drive slower. You don't want to drive 55 or 60 or whatever, depending on what road it is. Also, if you drive further away from cars, if you're lagging, drive further away from cars, because that'll help you avoid getting in accidents. Another thing that could help your driving is to watch DMV driving test videos. If you're trying to read the road signs and you don't understand what they are, watch DMV driving test videos, and those will help you a lot when you're in a roleplay service to drive good, because if you drive bad or unrealistically, you could get pulled over or marked, and if you get 3, that's what usually the rule in most roleplay servers, then you're banned from the server. You can't play in that server anymore, and you might have to find a different server to play in, or you'll have to apply for a ban appeal, and that only happens in some servers. So some or all servers aren't the same, they're all different. And the last tip is to know the road laws, because if you're passing a red light, you could get pulled over. It's just best to practice your driving, get a group of people to practice driving with. That's always good because you can test like your driving skills and stuff. At least that's what I know I've done before, and it actually helped a lot. If you're doing all these things, you're pretty much much ready to join the roleplay server. So those are all the tips that I have. That was it for this video, and I will see you in the next video.